So it just started raining. It's July 14th. We don't usually have rain in California in July, or at least not in a very, very long time that I can remember. I was just out here letting the chickens out, and I'm really enjoying the rain. Just started raining. Oh, you can hear Roger. He's squawking in the background. Anyway, I'm just going to walk around a little bit. I'll go over to the chicken coop so you can see the chicken coop. And everything's covered in spider webs and dust. But everything is lush and green as much as it can be at this time of the year. Anything that's being watered or it has some sort of shade or mulch is able to hold water. So for the most part, everything's getting watered every second or third day. Around the chicken coop, they get a little more because it's been really hot. So we've done misters for them, so the things around there are a little bit more green. So let me just take you through what you're looking at here. I haven't done a video in a while, and I thought that a rainy day in July would be an opportunity to just give you a quick update. So this is our compost bin, number 3. That's supposed to be ready to put on our beds. However, the chickens have changed everything about it, and we also have a lot of volunteer pumpkins and squash that keep coming up every year. So not necessarily in there this year. They came up in there. Last year they came up in a different compost area. The second bin we haven't done much with it because we don't have much to move over from our trash here. So this is where all of our green waste goes, and the chickens obviously built it up. We did have some cardboard. I can't remember. I think we needed some brown, so we threw some cardboard in there because we didn't have any at that time. But we are getting lots and lots of new material to go in there with processing all of the fruits and vegetables. All of those red pieces are the onion skins, and the white pieces are onion skins. We grew quite a few of our own onions this year, and we were able to get those in the freezer. Mom helped out with that. This over here is a corner that hasn't ever had much in it, and this here is an amaranth, a very large amaranth. And then I planted some more amaranth along the side. And then I also planted, but it looks like it's been eaten. I did plant what are the sour gherkin, not the sour gherkin, the cucamelons. And I planted them there, but it looks like maybe our mouse has gotten into that mess. I also planted some tomatillos over here. And maybe we're going to be doing the tomatillos. And some peas came up on their own. And then that's some red amaranth there. I think that's red Hopi amaranth. So I thought, and then of course this wire here, this has been put here to keep the chickens from eating all of that before we could actually get something out of it. So look at this. This is what they do. They peck off the things. So anyway, I did that. But again, that's there. We're seeing what happens there. Around here, let's see, we've got lots of feverfew. This plant fell over, got too heavy, but in here you can see it's coming up. This is one plant that I put in here a couple of years ago, and it has just continued to thrive. So I will probably cut it back when it's not so hot, but it's been so hot I haven't wanted to cut it back in the heat because I don't think it'll do as well if I cut it back while it's super hot. This right here, this whole giant thing here that you see is a grapevine, and it does have grapes on it. And we have our little buddy. I'm just going to zoom in because I think this is pretty interesting. We have our little buddy there that's taken up residence, and it looks like he's got something that he's working on eating. He, whatever. Anyway. And in the background you can see the grapes. And so anyway, we'll come back out. So this is a grape that has taken over. These grapes were actually removed. There was one there, and I believe there was one there, and at each of the posts going down this. And in order to put this chicken coop in, these posts were already here. The former owner had set this up as I think as a grape, or like a grape growing space. So we went ahead and Eric went ahead and put in all the extra beams and stuff to make this actually useful for us, for chickens. And the grapes have not come back at any of the spots except for right over here by the faucet. It was dripping. It's still dripping a little bit. It drips from time to time. We fix it and it drips again. It looks like it's dripping again. Anyway, this here is where the grapes came back on their own. We didn't do that. All of this is lemon balm and mint in here. There's a couple different varieties. When I started free ranging the chickens, this actually had flowers and herbs in it, and they pretty much have annihilated everything. I do believe that this right here is some type of an oregano that I had planted, and it does look like it's coming back. Actually, let me smell that and see. I will tell you. Oh, yeah. And the flowers are from something else. Anyway, oh, yeah, that's an oregano. So that one made it. And this one over here, ooh, that's a different oregano, too. I don't want to smell that one. I don't think that's the same. And you can see our horrible. Okay, so this grass, it grows. And at every spot, like here where it grows, it roots. See how it roots? And we call it Bermuda grass. And I'm going to go like that. But then back over here where it broke off, that's still a plant. So this is what we fight in our gardens. You hate getting this, and there's just only so much you can do about it. This stuff will also grow under the ground. So like we could clear it all out of that bed, and then all of a sudden a piece could pop up in the back. And that's because this will grow underground and root. And the actual mother roots of these are really big. I'm not going to get it out of here, so I just take it and throw it out, and take it and throw it out. I'm not going to use chemical on it. So, and then this right here, these are blueberries. A few blueberry bushes that have been needing a little bit of extra love. I actually am going to try to put them in here, and I got the idea off of another YouTuber. Ruth Zimmerman has a website, a YouTube site where not the Warrenbergs. I'm sorry, the Warrenbergs. They have a chicken coop, and my mom was watching, and they've put bricks and then piled rocks around it. And I know that the chickens will eat the blueberries when they're ripe, but I also know that, and I know this looks horrible, but you just wait. We're going to have blueberries in here. I have faith. We're going to put them in and get them going, but Mrs. Warrenberg, she actually put in shrubs and stuff in her chicken coop, and she actually put bricks and then covered them with rocks so her chickens wouldn't scratch up the roots. And so that's basically what I'm trying to do, is prevent them from scratching up the roots, because I had a pineapple sage here. I had a lemon verbena that's gone now. I keep looking for new ones. I can't find seeds. I can't find the plant anywhere, but I know exactly what I want. I want a lemon verbena. That actually wintered over 2 winters in a row. It came back, and then this is the third winter, and it was after we free-ranged, and they just kind of took it out. But, and it looks like the cats are checking out the chicken coop, and that's probably because I found a mouse in there this morning. They're going in there. We got, and I don't think this is going to bode well for Elvis if he gets too close, because I got 2 mama hens now sitting. Let's see what happens here. This is pretty funny. I'll show you my hens here. I got mama hens sitting on there. Got mama 1 and mama 2. And this happened yesterday. She was over in this one, and they switched places. And these are my 2 broody hens. This one irritates me because she'll sit on it for a few days and then decide she's bored with the process. So then those eggs are no good, but these eggs were the ones that she was sitting on, so I'm letting her sit on them. I'm giving up these eggs because she's ready to go to bat over it. Watch what happens when I pet her. She'll fluff up. She gets real big. Hi, Mama. Oh, see, she gets really flustered. And this one too. This is what they do. Hey. Well, she doesn't have the same commitment. Anyway, all right. So I'm gonna go out here. Obviously, we can't mow around the swing set that's out here by the chicken coop. The kids come out and swing on it sometimes and watch the chickens. And but anyway, this is all chicory that's come up out here, and there's not much we can do about that. It just is what it is. We got to get out here with a weed eater if we're going to get this knocked down. Eric will tend to mow the field. He and the neighbor work on it together. And our little raindrops on the slide. We have some volunteer pumpkins or squash again. I haven't had any fruit set on these. Look, this one might be starting some blossoms. These are all the pumpkins that were from last year that we weren't able to get to. I put them out here for compost. This is a pile that does. There was horse manure here at one point, so as we put all this in here, it kind of feeds the soil, and then we can kind of take from it. We got some branches. I'm letting the leaves kind of fall off of that. We can pull the branches out later. Got a burn pile going there. It's not going to be burnt this summer because we don't burn in California in the summer. It's not safe. So that'll wait till fall. And as you can see, I think it's a beautiful picture of what happens when you cover the ground and you mulch it. We've got all this dead stuff that we can't burn. That's a burn pile, dry as a bone. And underneath it, everything that's growing out of the ground is green because whatever moisture was down there is coming up. And then we also have over here, this is Barrage, and it's dry and hot as it's been. This self-seeded. And oh my gosh, there is a random tomato plant. This is crazy. And it even has a little tomato on it. I did not know this was here. So this is a former burn pile. You can see the ash there. And we will pull this ash and sprinkle it around wherever we need it. It's good for the soil in your garden in proper amounts. But we have this little tomato. I bet this is a spoon tomato. These things are pretty resilient. But look at those tomatoes. There's more than one tomato on there. That is hilarious. So anyway, that's a volunteer. That came up on its own, did its own thing. And then we have some asparagus over here. That's growing up everywhere in my garden. This guy right here, this feathery, ferny stuff. And it just keeps growing up everywhere. Can't stop it. And these are just a bunch of really pretty weeds. When I've looked this up on my plant ID, this is wild lettuce. It grows everywhere around here. I have and then there's this one over here, which is a really cool plant. It's gone to seed now. But this is something called salsify. And each one of these little things is a seed. And it catches wind with a little fluff. And that will become another salsify. And salsify, I've never eaten it before, but supposedly you can eat the roots of salsify. I think just like any root vegetable, there's probably seasons when they taste a little better, and you probably want to eat them when they're young or at the proper stage, and then you'll enjoy it more. My sandal is peeling back. I guess I might need to get a new pair. This is the garden, and we've got a sunflower that is a volunteer. It's not getting water. As a matter of fact, look at all this stuff that just cooked around it. But because there's been enough, see where it got cooked? It dies back, it covers the ground. And then look at the green that comes up from underneath it. So this sunflower is not is done blooming. I was waiting to see if it was going to send out some more shoots, but it's not doing it. But it may be just because it doesn't have enough water. And then around here you can see how the sun has just been scorching everything. I mean, this is all sunburn. This is all sunburn. The sun has just been torturous. This is a calendula that I'm trying to reseed over here. So I keep throwing the seeds over here. But you can see at the base of it, it's starting to come up there. And this red bud is doing well down here. And it's doing well up to here. But we've just, look at the skin. Look at that. The sun is just scorching things. It's crazy. So yeah, it's having a rough go. I mean, that's crunchy. And so even things that are watered and tended are not doing perfectly well. Oh, there's another spider. I'm not sure what that kind is. Let's see if we can zoom in and get a better look. What's that one doing? I have got so many spiders this year. Yeah, that's a different kind. Anyway, working their web, doing their thing. Yep, just doing their thing. Okay, well we'll let them get back to work. These guys got cooked this year, sadly. These got really cooked. They're unfortunate that they're not lasting as long, I don't think. And then these guys are spent. There's a few over there in the back that you can see that are still blooming, but these are pretty spent. And we're learning about bulbs. A lot of times they will form these little pods on them, these little seed pods, and those actually have seeds in them. I think these might. I did plant some seeds in there. I don't see anything coming up. That's unfortunate. You can see that a red bud, I noticed this year that a red bud had started there and a red bud had started there. And I thought, well, that's perfect because there's a gate right there. And if we can train these to grow up this way and keep them trimmed off so that they're not too out of hand into my garden, I figured this might make a nice little arbor here. So we're going to leave those and let them do their thing. Those started wild, and we're going to let them go for a while because we can always take them down if we don't need to. The red buds, they probably came from those red buds. These right here, this in the background beyond the gate, that is the top of a red bud. And then that's probably, I don't know, 30 or 40 foot tall oak tree above it. And then you have your eucalyptus and the neighbors, along the neighbors there. And then the top of the fig tree right there. And then we have some more eucalyptus here. So we've got some pretty big trees. Oh, and then there's the pecan. And then we've got the apricots that need to come down. They're getting too big. And then we've got some pomegranate right here. And then coming back into this side of the fence, this is Chris's tree. So this tree was started in a wet paper towel on my kitchen counter when Christopher was probably 15 years old, and he is almost 30 now. And so this tree was started by seed. I don't know if it will ever produce fruit. It finally found its forever home here with us on this farm 5 years ago. We moved on here, and probably 3 years ago, we decided to put it in the ground. 3 or 4 years ago. And it has froze badly a couple of times. It is now too big for us to wrap it in sheets. So this year it will not get that protection, but it is thickening from the inside out. It's some kind of citrus. We don't know what it is, but anyway, there's that. So now let me take you through the garden. We haven't been in the garden in a while, and I do need to check some things. Look at this. I got to tell you, I was talking about the asparagus there, asparagus there, asparagus there, and this is what it does. It grows up, and then these beautiful ferns get heavy, and especially they'll put berries on. These are little berries, and then it drops over, and then the berries fall, and then they seed themselves again. And then this is just my neglect. This is grass that started going and I haven't been able to do it. And look at those. Those are just all seeds in my hand. So, yep, I'm stuck with this here for now. And then this is Malabar spinach. You can eat these leaves when they're young. It's best. They have a little bit of mucilage in them, so they're a little bit slimy, is what I've been told. I've never cooked with them, but supposedly you can use them like spinach in the summer. That is the only time this grows. It does produce, and some of it popped up down here, it does produce these little flowers. I don't know if you can see that, and I'm not going in too far because there's spider webs everywhere. But that's going to bloom and then create little berries. And that is growing on its own up through there. And then we also have, it started itself down in here too. All of that you see down there is, that ground cover is actually Malabar spinach. And oh, look at our little buddy. So this has been a rough year for these guys. This has been a rough year. I'm going to throw that to the chickens. The chickens will find it later. So anyway, let's go into the garden. Excuse the mess. I have not been out here weeding. This grass cut out of hand. Got to prune that back. This is a leftover right here. This area is a leftover from the winter garden vegetables that I had started. And we did try harvesting some collards and some kale and stuff. It wasn't the best. No, cabbage. I'm sorry, cabbage. It wasn't the best because it's just bitter right now. So all of this, I'm going to trim it back at some point. But because it's been so hot, I've been utilizing this as cover, for my beans that I planted. Those beans are all bean seeds that I saved from beans last year. And then, oh, there's a weed. I do try to keep the weeds out of there. Anyway, these, I'm guessing, these are dinosaur kale, and they are wonderful. They're my favorite kale to cook with. What you do is you cut down the strip here and the strip on the other side. I just take a knife and run it down both sides. And then we toss the vein, that big vein in the middle. We toss that to the chickens, and then we chop up the leaves, and they make a really good quiche. I like to saute it and put it in quiche. I'm trying to grow some amaranth this year just as a novelty. It's in various spots, but they have really pretty blooms on them. I think these are supposed to get a little bit bigger, and when they do, the idea was that I would bring them in and put them in a vase. I had trouble getting my tomatillos started this year, but I did find that I have tomatillos growing in my pathway, and this one looks like it's got a flower on it. I don't know how well it's going to do down there by itself with one little flower, but anyway, it's growing over here, and we marked it with the pitchfork for now. I have my sweet potatoes in this bed, and they finally are starting to fill in with the heat that we've had, so I think we might get a good crop of sweet potatoes. That's the hope. Anyway, and I've got a couple more tomatillos here. I did finally get some growing somewhere else. This weed right here, some of the weeds I really go after as soon as I see them. This one actually forms these little, this thing. They form this thing. We call it puncture vine, and it's horrible, horrible, horrible. I tucked a couple of cowpeas in around, so there's a couple of them coming up in different spots. I was just trialing to see how things were going to go. I also have over here, these are some beans that I'm surprised are even growing. I'm not harvesting the beans, I'm letting them go to seed, but look at what they're doing. They're curling, and so I'm thinking I'm not going to do that. We have a couple of volunteer redbud trees here that have come up. This one right here might have to go at some point because it is invading this space more so than the other one. But because they grew together, I'm allowing them to kind of finish out. And I will be, again, when it's cooler, I'll be pruning some of these branches that are popping through and pushing on this fence. I'll be pruning those off. I'm trying to get it to grow up and above and have the canopy above. If this one right here can get the canopy above my fencing here, then I'll probably let it go, but it has to be able to do that. And these are some dragon tongue beans that went to seed, and I let them. I've got to get out here and harvest, but I haven't had a chance to. This one's fun. Let's open that up. I'm just curious what the seeds look like. Excuse me, I'm going to set you down a minute. Just a minute. Aha. Alright, so inside you can see the dragon tongue bean seeds. I don't know if those will grow or not. We'll see. But anyway, that's what I'm growing them for now, is for the seeds. I've got some potatoes over here. This is really grassy, and I am in bare flip-flops, so I don't know that I'm going to go over there. But I have some potatoes growing back in there that I think I need to take a look at, because it looks like they're kind of yellowing on the edges. And they're done. Catnip's kind of taken over that area. The fig tree that I pruned pretty hard has made an appearance again. And we are looking at the fig harvest. I mean, this is just one sprig of a branch, and you can see, what do you have? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. I can see at least 8 figs on that. And if you can, in perspective, there's that, and then there's that. And I don't know if you saw, there were some more over here that we didn't see. And then, I mean, it's just, you go up and there's just so many figs. So anyway, and that fig tree comes out onto our backyard, and it goes all the way up over here and comes out over into my garden. This is the asparagus that has gotten out of hand, and we've got to do something with it, because this used to be a straight shot to a water faucet. And this is berry, wild blackberry. That is, I'm going to come over here and show you what's going on. This is insane when you think about it, really. So on the very back of my garden over there, so this whole area right here is about 20-ish feet from where I'm standing to the back of where the garden space is that I'm doing. There's a wild plum, and then behind it there's a wall of blackberries. That blackberry wall has been coming into my garden as much as it can, and we've been keeping it kind of at bay the best we can, and then it's decided to send runners that are coming all the way out here and then shooting up in the middle of my asparagus, for instance. So anyway, that's just been a little bit of a nuisance, but it is what it is. I have got, let's see, these are some brassicas that I let to go to seed, and they are not anything we're going to eat. They're broccolini. However, we have had these little guys. I don't know if you can see this or not. I don't know if you're going to see it or not. But there's this little bug right here. This guy. And they have eaten all the leaves off of these brassicas because they're stressed. And they like to go after the stressed plants. Oh, I see. That is a wild lettuce, and that shouldn't be in there. I didn't get that one. It's pretty deep. Anyway, so these guys are coming up. And what's happening is then you have these beautiful eggplants in the middle of it growing, and the bugs are eating this stuff rather than my eggplant. I don't see any eggplants on these. These are small little round cherry tomato size, but none of them have started producing yet. They're putting on flowers. I don't have any I can see yet, but oh no, there is one. Let me come around here. Come around here and I'll show you. This is what I grow these. And this is from last year's seeds that I saved from the plants that I grew last year. This one might be ready, actually. Yeah, that one I can take. Oh, and there's another one right there. And I'll take these off. Oh, oops. Anyway, these are a little smaller this year than they've been. And then these are green onions that we've been cutting and chopping and using. Some more of those cowpeas that I told you I was just planting them around. And this is some celosia. Looks like we've got some little mushrooms growing in here. The celosia hasn't really done much. Some things are doing better than others this year, and we're just having to be grateful for what we're getting. So anyway, those are the little eggplants, and those can go into curries and different things. Lots of cosmos this year. I tried cosmos for the first time, and lavender, poorly placed in the garden. These are my cabbage that are going to need to come out. I did plant, this is a actual domestic lettuce that went to seed. I'm letting it go to seed. And then I've got some beans in here. I've got some arugula, a dill that was planted from seed. So this guy right here is dill that I planted from seed from my dill that I was growing elsewhere. Got some radishes back there in the corner that I planted in around there. I'm trying to get some radishes going. Lots of little weeds in here, but I don't know. I don't freak out about it as much as maybe I should. Looks like we might have a cucumber. That's pretty close to ready. I think we'll just wait and pull it when I'm actually ready to use it. It doesn't need to come off quite yet, but it will need to come off soon. Ooh, spiky. And then we have a couple more. These are pickling cubes here. This is one cucumber plant, and it's doing quite well. I did start some more down here. I've started multiple times, and these are actually taking now. So I don't know if I don't know why, but they're doing better than they have. Oh, and then this is a bell pepper. Here's a beautiful bell pepper. And I've got these lilac sparkle or violet sparkle. Anyway, they're a bell pepper. And then another one here. I probably should harvest this one here. I don't know. These are my emerald giants. Yeah, it's probably time. I'm getting quite a few. I probably need to come out here and do a bell pepper harvest. Definitely. We'll keep that in mind when I do my bell peppers. And then I think this is a peppercini in here. And it looks like some of them have gone red. So I need to be getting those off of there. And then this is that's a grass. I don't need grass in there. There's quite a bit of grass in there. Yeah, I need to spend some time weeding. But I also enjoy just the wildness of it all. And there's some more of those little buggy bugs. I've got some tomato varieties. These are some tomato varieties I've never eaten before. One of them is a German Queen. I'm looking forward to trying that one. And it's a green tomato, so I need to find the label on it and figure out which one's which and make sure that I take that off in time. I have some eggplants growing over here. This is where I got all my eggplant from, and it's down in here. And I got this guy right here. And this guy, this one's ready to come off too. I'll need to get scissors though, because these will hurt if I don't. Ooh, and that one's ready. These must be smaller. I was expecting them to get a little bigger, but they didn't. My white eggplant is back there. It's called Casper, but I don't see it anywhere. And then these are all eggplant volunteers around here. There was an eggplant volunteer right there that I transplanted out of the walkway, and then all of these popped up. I've got one there, one there. So if they can fruit with the water they're getting from overflow, then that's great. This is finally putting on some, teasing us anyway, with some possible squash. I don't have any squash yet. Let's see. Oh, it started raining again. These are these are like a pretty little grass. They have this like stripey thing on it, but they're kind of a nuisance, so I just pull them out. And, eventually they give up. Well, in theory. And I got a whole bunch of beans I was trying to get to go to seed. And then we have some echinacea or coneflower. We have another coneflower. These, I think, are two different varieties. This one's a little shorter and that one's a little taller. This is a carrot that's gone to seed, and I've allowed these carrots to go to seed because the pollinators absolutely love them. We have some holy basil or Tulsi basil. Makes a wonderful, wonderful additive to water. Like you would put mint leaves in your water, you can put these in your water, and it's really tasty. Oh boy, it's time. We got some sweet 100s over here. These are all my sweet 100 cherry tomatoes. Ooh, I gotta eat one of those. That looks good. And then Oh, and I got a cherry or a Cherokee purple. I bet that one can come off. That one needs to go in with us. There. And then look at these celebrities. Oh man. They can come off and I'll put them on the counter. They'll get a little darker, but they're going. That's awesome. So we got those. And then we'll come around here. My hands are getting full, I'll tell you. Anyway, let's see, where can we set these down? Let me come over here. We'll go find a little spot to set our tomatoes on. This area is a little better kept. Whoop, there goes my tomato. Poor tomato. There's Melissa. All right, so there we go. Look at that guy. Oh man, those tomatoes are beautiful. So beautiful. Yep. Frankie wants to see about it. Let me come back over here really quick. We're getting close to the end of the garden, sort of, ish. We've got quite a bit more going here. Like I said, blackberries can't stay out of my garden this year. Oh, and I got some more tomatoes that need to come off. I'm going to take those. Oh, my goodness. It's crazy how many I've got now. I guess it's time for tomatoes. So anyway, these are my peppers. We got jalapenos going. I can probably bring, yeah, when they do that, I can definitely bring those in. Anyway, and I got some more Tulsi basil here. Put some down there. My marigolds finally are pulling out of whatever pests were working them. And I got to tell you, I tried growing something called a Bacchino pepper. Oh, this guy right here. These are so amazing. The flavor is incredible. They're not quite ready yet. I had one that got yellow and I was able to eat it. This one isn't nearly as covered as the other one. Ooh, I can smell that marigold bumping it like that. That's great. Get rid of some of these weeds here. And then I have to tell you, so I had trouble getting my zinnias started. And then these volunteers started popping up. And I have got multiple colors of zinnias now. I've got this shade of pink. I've got that shade of pink. And I've got one there. I've got like a really pretty orange one over here. You got to see this color. This one's really fabulous. Look at this color. Isn't that pretty? Oh my gosh, it's so beautiful. Oh, and there's my potatoes. See how they're kind of yellowing? Those ones are getting to the end of their life. There's berries all in there. I don't know if you can see it where you're from this angle, but. And then this is dill that's gone to seed, in case you didn't know what that looked like. And so I'm just letting that go. I have one ground cherry on my entire garden, and it is right there. And it just showed up about a week and a half, 2 weeks ago. So it seems like the things that have planted themselves are doing quite well. And then some things that I planted are doing well as well. These sunflowers are beautiful as usual. Again, this I believe is the strawberry blonde, and that's probably my favorite one. I really love this kind of like, and it fades because that one and this one are on the same plant. And you can see when they first start out, they start out really pretty like that. And then they kind of fade as they get older. And we have so many blackberries. Oh, I gotta let Mariah know she's my blackberry girl. We gotta get in here because it's time. These blackberries, I don't know if you can see that cluster, but they're starting to ripen. And some of them don't look too bad. Sometimes they are a little dry and small, but these ones look like there's a few that are probably pretty big and juicy. Oh, there's some eucalyptus. I don't know if you can see that or not, but the eucalyptus tree branches fall in here every once in a while, and looks like there's one there. And anyway, this thing is massive. And then this is what it does. It encroaches on my garden. So all of this is berries trying to get up in my garden. So we're constantly battling this. You know, what are you going to do, though? What are you going to do? These are fava beans that I started in the summer because I didn't know I wasn't supposed to. So we'll see. It's been hot. I'm not sure that they're thrilled about it, but they are growing. So we'll see what they do. Maybe if they can summer over and get to winter, they might do well. And then look at, these are my Brussels sprouts right here. This one. And this one's a Brussels sprout and a Brussels sprout. These plants have survived. They're getting beat up now, but if they make it through, my thought is they're such a long variety. They grow months. I mean, I think they're like a 4-month growth thing. And they had struggles, and then they finally pulled through. So, and you can see where they would start to put buds on in there. I don't know if you can see that or not, but anyway, I thought, well, maybe we'll let them go and see if they put buds on in the fall when it cools down, and maybe we'll get a little bit of a crop. This is some jasmine that Eric's growing here for me, and then we have another coneflower. These flowers are pretty spent. I can probably cut these way back and let another flush come out. And then we have some cayenne peppers, and it looks like they're ready. I've got yellow in the front, and I planted a mixed pack of red and yellow, and apparently the reds ended up back here and the yellows ended up in the front. And then I have some black-eyed peas. This is my first time ever growing black-eyed peas, but I'm so excited about it. They grow these really cool, this is where the bean pod is, and they grow straight up like that. I think it's the coolest thing. So my first year, and I'm giving them a go, and I'm excited about it. This is radish that's gone to seed. I put these radishes in here for the pollinators and for pest control. And I don't know if it's working or not, but... And the cowpeas are good. They actually like the heat. Look at how pretty that flower is. That's just such a pretty flower. I just think so. And this is one of the pods coming out from that. I don't know if it's coming out from that flower, but it's coming out from that spot. My pollinator bed needs to be reset. It got out of control. We got some grass. This is going to get an overhaul here. I've got some potatoes back there that are pretty close to needing to be harvested as well. And we've got some algae growing in our little water bath here. I've got some asters. They still haven't put on any flowers. I've got some tomatoes that I haven't properly staked up, and this is what they want to do when they're not staked, is they want to fall over and find somewhere on the ground to root. Lots of cosmos. These really giant ones have not actually put on buds yet. I'm kind of curious as to what they're going to do. But I have a couple watermelon in here. We'll see. I don't know that they're going to get there before the end of the season. But, you know, I won't know until the end of the season. And then finally, we're going to get some more eggplant on these plants here. They were some of my first ones to produce. I bought these plants at the store. And they were some of my first, but not my first. And then this one here, that one's ready to come off. So we got another flush of eggplant. I got several types of basil here. There's a third type of basil and a fourth type of basil. This one is called a Persian basil, and it's absolutely gorgeous. I mean, look at how silvery purple those leaves are. They're just beautiful, and the flowers are just wonderful. So I really enjoyed growing basil. And it looks like we have some more strawberries again. I didn't realize the strawberries. Holy cow, look at the size of that thing. Does it have a bug hole? That one doesn't even have a bug hole in it. Look at that. Look at that strawberry. That's amazing. I'm excited to eat that one. I'll have to get out here and get some of these strawberries. They're doing well. And we've got tomatoes coming on. Oh, my strawberry. My black, whoop. I almost walked into a spider web. I think we're going to go there. Okay, mister. I don't know where you are, but I know you're around here somewhere. Anyway, these are all my sun golds. Woo! Okay. He had quite the extensive whatever, and they have to at least leave the pathways for me. I can't do without pathways. Anyway, what I wanted to show you is these strawberry tomatoes. They're black strawberry tomatoes. These aren't quite ready, but they're starting to turn. They start out like this, and then they go to that, and then they're beautiful. And then I'm getting run off by a bumblebee. And then, oh my gosh, I did not realize my pear tomatoes this year. I'm really fighting the elements here. My hairs get funny too. But look at these pear tomatoes. I didn't know those were getting ready, and they are really huge. I didn't know. I mean, everything's so weird this year. It's like in ridiculously huge or not growing as well as it should be. So I'm going to put these down here. Put those there. Look at that little guy. All right, now let's come over here. I've got some more tomatoes that we can consider pulling off too. I've got more tomatoes down here. Oh, I'm walking into spider webs. Come on, guys. Cut me some slack. I'm human. And a little skittish. Okay. And then look at this. Oh my gosh. And there's Brad's Atomic Grape. These are really pretty tomatoes. And these are probably ready to go. They're just such a beautiful tomato and good flavor. And then look at this guy. These are called large barred boar, and I grew them last year and I really liked them. This is not the biggest one. They actually, there's a much bigger one. Like this one is, I don't know, you can hear Roger. This one is like my whole hand. And this one right here is even bigger than that. I don't know when it'll be ready. But these are really nice tomatoes. And they are ready when they start getting stripy like that. Yeah, I can take them inside. They'll probably get a little darker. Well, that one's probably not as dark as that one, but you see they'll get a rich color. That'll probably darken a little bit if it sits on the counter. So anyway, I've got quite a few of these I could probably harvest. I don't want to take too many off just yet. This one's getting some color. It should be going pretty soon. And that one is called a Blue Beauty. And those are really tasty. I enjoyed those last year. I'm going to come back. I got to go put these down. But there we go. Look at that. Look at that. Gorgeous. Okay. And then these ones last year, or let's see, this is new this year. This one's called Lovely Lush. And I got this from Wild Boar Farms. This is what they're looking like. They're still a little firm, so they probably are going to get a little darker than that. But they're sure pretty. A little bit on the small side, but that's okay. And then probably my favorite tasting tomato of all when it comes for pretty much anything you want to cook is this one. But they're a pain in the butt to slice, and they often have the blossoms that you end up with multiple tomatoes. I'm going to leave this one just a little bit longer, but they have the fluted edges on them. I'm going to come over here and see too. I've got some okra that's got to be ready. Got to be close anyway. Okay, I've never grown Amish paste, and I just want to say these are sauce tomatoes. This is one of the biggest sauce tomatoes I have ever seen. And I don't know, something's fallen over there. Anyway, pretty impressive. Oh, and then I got cowpeas growing along here. And I'm trying growing something called honeywort. It's like barrage, just because pollinators like it. And diversity in the garden is healthy. And this is another beautiful tomato. I know, it gets a little wild and hairy when people see my garden, but oh yeah, it's time. I'm going to have to get my clippers. I'm going to have to get clippers for these, but there's some okra. That's the Alabama Red. And then I grew these little dudes here. These are called Baby Bubba okra. They're a compact size, so you can grow them in a container. I'm pretty impressed. These suckers, this one's got one ready. And look at that thing. There's a okra ready to go. This one's almost ready. It's getting there. This one is on one, I think this is called, oh, this is the Clemson Spineless. Yeah, this one's ready to come off. And actually, it's still soft, so it can go in. And then I have, these are Star of David, and they're ready. I got quite a few okra. Worked the last couple of days, so I haven't been out here to harvest. Oh, and there's more tomatoes, or strawberries. Ah, but that one has a bug hole in it. Ah, bummer. Okay, well this one does, it does too. That's okay. If I'll take the time to cut those out, those would still taste good. And then I did plant Christmas lima beans. I don't know if we're going to get anything out of them. They're getting hit pretty hard with the aphids, but we're just letting that go. And they're kind of growing up the okra, which I kind of thought I wanted them to do. So we'll see. That may or may not be a good thing. And I am growing lemongrass for the first time. So this just looks like a weed, but this is actually lemongrass. And I have wanted this because I love this in tea. It is one of my favorite things to get that lemon flavor in tea. And it will not winter over. So I don't know if we have to plant it. Set these here. So anyway, well, that's pretty much, I would say that's pretty much it. And there might be a couple more things over here. I don't know. Let's see if I can get through here without having to meet Mr. Spidey Man. I don't know. Oh, you know what? I did have some Napa Chardonnay tomatoes, and these were, okay, these tomatoes, if you can grow them where you live, they have hardly any skin. If you don't like the real tough skins, these have a real soft skin. Everything has a tougher skin this year than usual, than what I've had the last couple of years, but they still have a thinner skin than some. And these are some of my favorite flavored, or textured, I guess. I mean, they don't have a real strong flavor. They're mild. Flavor-wise, hands down, Sun Golds. These ones are really good. If you've never tried the yellow tomatoes and you see some at a farm stand, just ask for just a taste, because they are pretty impressive. Now this cucumber, something happened. It's not going to do anything. But that one looks like it's going pretty well. So that one will come off here at some point. And I do have more coming. So I don't know. In all this heat, it's... Oh. Whoops. Oh, that's a whoops. That's not what I wanted to happen. That one, I'll give the chickens that one. But get it. The reason why I picked it is if they start yellowing like that, they'll go to seed. And the plant will get the signal that it's done with its job. And I don't want that. So you can see in here I planted some little cucumber starts. And they're starting. I'm hoping for a fall round. These are the sweet peas and the sugar peas that I planted. And they are so... Oops. Oh, my goodness. These are the sweet peas and the sugar peas that I planted, and those are actually dead, but they were so intertwined in all of this and the cucumbers had woven into them. I left them, and then in the fall, when the cucumbers are spent, we'll pull all this down, probably late September, and I can put some other little starts in there of something. But anyway, well, that's about the extent of it. That's the extent of it. I actually had quite a few surprises myself. I had not seen everything that had been growing over the last few days. Like I said, we've had so much heat that it's been pretty relentless and brutal. And but slowly, really, my cat's knocking my tomatoes off. Knock it off. It was Frankie, and now it's Elvis. He's over here. Anyway, so there's my kitty. Hello. Yep, see, that's what he's doing. No. Stop it. Stop. He's putting what a little turd. Anyway, I'm trying to keep it clean. Anyway, sometimes I don't want to. You work so hard to get these, and then your animals just disrespect it all. Anyway, so it looks like we've got some things we can do. Eric's not feeling great today. And it's just, I mean, the heat's been relentless. It's been really hard. And so we'll see what happens. I think we will have to. Sorry, I'm not going to have any tomatoes without giant holes in them if I'm not careful here. So, anyway, I'm going to sign off. Thanks for joining me for this really long tour. If I get this up on YouTube, I hope you enjoyed, and I'm sorry it's been so long, but I thought I might fill you in on what's actually going on right now here at the farm. Take care.